Typist, Artist, Pirate, King 2022. This is a curiously named film, isn't it? I mean, what does typist and artists and pirates and kings have to do with anything? Well, that's the name of the film. Sat down and watched it. When it starts, you get to see we're introduced to Aubrey Amos. She's played by Monica Dolan. Monica Dolan, and she's getting a visit. She's at home, and she has this strange dream where there's this blob that really strange blob that appears on her calendar. In the dream, this blob seems to be all-consuming and a bit scary. It's a bit of a nightmare. But when she wakes up and has a look at her calendar, there's a blob all over that particular day, and she gets a visit. There's a knock on the door, and it's Sandra Panzer. Her name is. She's a mental health worker, and she's played by Kelly MacDonald. But Sandra and Audrey are the main protagonists in this film. Audrey is the main protagonist, and Sandra's features throughout the film. And what it is, in essence, is a road trip. So immediately it reminded me of Black Dog, which I've reviewed interestingly. I've reviewed recently. A film I really loved, and this film, to start with at least, I felt this is very strange. Although the main characters are women, and I said in the last couple of films that I prefer. I find it. I look forward to female characters as the main leads, the main protagonists, and so this is what I was looking for. But it felt really zany for at least until the third act. At least probably 75% of it, if not more. I was really questioning it, thinking, what on earth is happening? This doesn't really make sense. It's of course, it's like there's concepts like unreliable narrators, and that applies a lot in this film, and I thought it might simply because it's the main character, or Audrey. The main character Audrey is suffering from mental illness, and I think it's bipolar. Might be schizophrenia. There's various elements mentioned, various conditions mentioned, and I don't know, even possibly, I don't know, I can't, just by watching, it's not a good idea to diagnose people, and I've only partially encountered many different mental illnesses and conditions, and then there's my own experience of conditions from ADHD, which I've talked about a lot recently. But the creative element, I mean, there's a lot that I actually identified with her, despite actually also finding her character very, very difficult. I thought, I don't know if I'd I'd really want to meet her. I don't know if I'd want her in my car, and in a similar position to Black Dog, with the position of Sam allowing Nathan in his car. Um, there's this similar thing. The car in question is called Sunny, and it's Sandra's car. And what happens is, I mean, there may be some unreliable narratives from Sandra as well, because early on she claims that she's handed in her notice on her job, and yet um, so she has the time. I suppose it's the only way of getting time to go on a road trip from London. I think it's London. Was it somewhere else? It's certainly from southern England all the way up to northern England to where was it? Was this place? There was a Sunderland. That's one of the places. That's where Audrey hailed from originally, and where she wants to go back to. And that's where there's this really strong parallel with Sam and Nathan with Black Dog. But there's I think there's different incidents along the way, and there's a whole pile of coincidences with the people whom they meet, whom Audrey seems to know. And that's where I've mentioned in some of my recent reviews that, for instance, what was it? It Ends With Us. I was mentioning about coincidences that happen in films. Can so many coincidences happen? I mean, in this film, there's piles of them. There's like police officers, there's people enacting historical events who seem quite unbothered by being interrupted by this pair, this couple, these two women. There are people all the way along. There's a hitchhiker. For some reason, all these characters seem to fit in with Audrey's narrative. And of course, there's another explanation. And there are, I mean, having an open mind, keeping an open mind and carry on watching, because I know I've gone to the cinema with friends who've just nudged me in the middle of a film and said, this is ridiculous. And it's like saying a musical is ridiculous simply because everyone suddenly bursts into song. It's just another way of conveying a message. Of course, in real life, people don't start boogieing in the job centre queue, as I think they do in the Full Monty. But it's a spectacle. It's something that really makes the film enjoyable. And I love musicals. I think they're great. It's like when I walk through the UAL campus down in King's Cross. There's students always dancing and practicing their dancing. They're all in an array. Synchronizing. Looking in the mirror and practicing their choreography, and it's pretty amazing to watch. I found it spectacular for years. I remember in 2004 when I saw the producers, springtime for Hitler in Germany. And, of course, that's a heavy, serious event, not something that you take lightly, and yet it's made into a cabaret for that film. And yet, I like how films do that. You add entertainment, you get whole massive groups of people all doing the same maneuver in front of your eyes, and it's entertaining, it's spectacular. And I kind of wish I could do that now. I mean, I think I've got too many problems with bones and joints. I've fractured a bone in my back about a little over 3 years ago, and so I get a lot of back pain. I get arthritis, sciatica, stuff like that. I don't really out. I'd love to, if I can find a way of maybe not chair yoga, because that comes up in this film as well, in chair yoga. But if there's ways I can improve my suppleness, my ability to move, maybe. I can't say I've ever been a good dancer, but just watching other people dancing is amazing. And I'm a big fan of all sorts of dance films, from modern stuff like the Step One, Two, Three, etc. Step Up, is it Step Up? Yeah, and all those sort of films and the British equivalents. And I also like seeing musicals and enjoy creativity. And so when it comes down to films like this, there's a mashup of so many ideas, and there's an element that does actually fit in a lot with another film by the same producer, the same director, Carol Morley, who I admire an awful lot. And I've been privileged to meet her when I saw the premiere of Dreams of a Life, and that was such an amazing film. And that's a film that I've attempted to review, and I think I will have another go at reviewing, because it is just an awesome film, absolutely awesome. This this is once I'd seen it in its entirety, as it was drawing to the close, as I saw how there's a whole pile of different characters that appear towards the end. There's people in taxis. There's a taxi driver. They go round various places. They go to this Heber's. What is that place? Oh gosh, should I look it up? No, I'll put it on screen. I'll find it. But it's a beauty spot in Yorkshire, I think, and I'd not heard of it before, but it's a place where, I mean, Audrey shows her scars to Sandra, and Sandra looks concerned. I mean, because Audrey says she nearly died, and my imagination runs over time. I think it does for most people, because the way it isn't revealed exactly what happens until late on in the film. So there's all these different elements that are expertly held back until the end, and all the different elements fall into place, and And it is a really excellent way. It's an excellent way of capturing the spirit of a real life artist. You know, what was her name? Just what did I say? Audrey Amos. Had a look at her. I was watching with the film, and we had a look at her Wikipedia entry afterwards, and um, um, I was in admiration. We were both in admiration for both the director, the filmmakers as a whole, and for Audrey for her creativity and the kind of things that she did, because she prepared scrapbooks. So there's scrapbooks that you get to see in the film. There's little things, cornettos. I was thinking about the cornetto trilogy at that point. But there's a few elements that draw such a strong parallel with things that have interested me. I mean, I have a tendency to keep a huge number of records of things. I like documenting things. I like having keeping a journal, keeping a diary, and recording things, recording the price of groceries that I buy. That I'm doing that in great detail now. I'm talking now on the 7th of October. I've been doing it this first week of October, and I'm hoping to continue. So there's all these sort of things that I've shared an immense amount of records, and Carol poured through them, and they're available for people to see at the Welcome Gallery, and that's a place I'd really like to visit. So maybe I'll make a film about that at some point. I am thinking of diversifying into a few different streams for future YouTube videos, maybe separate channels, but I'm going to score this 9 out of 10. I'd love to know what you think. If you like this film, thanks for watching. Bye for now. Thanks for watching. Hope to see you again soon. Bye for now.